Idun had known the forest like the lines on his own weathered hands. From the moment he could walk, he had navigated its depths, surviving on his instincts and the wisdom passed down from his father, a fleeting memory from infancy. His mother's presence had been a beacon of strength until illness stole her away when he was still a child, leaving him alone to fend for himself in the unforgiving wilderness. Days blurred into nights as Idun honed his skills, becoming one with the rhythms of nature. He knew every thicket, every stream, and every shadow that danced across the forest floor. It was in these wilds that he found solace from the harsh realities of life, hunger, loneliness, and the relentless struggle to survive. One evening, as twilight cast its soft embrace over the forest, Idun's keen senses led him deeper than usual. A glimmer of light amidst the dense foliage caught his attention, a small hut nestled within a secluded clearing. Smoke curled lazily from its chimney, a silent invitation amidst the stillness of the woods. Intrigued and cautious, Idun approached the hut. Through a weathered window, he glimpsed a figure silhouetted against the warm glow of a crackling fire, a woman with an air of both vulnerability and strength. His heart quickened with a mixture of curiosity and concern. Who was she, and why did she dwell alone in this remote corner of the forest? Without pausing to second-guess himself, Idun pushed open the door, his movements swift yet deliberate. The woman inside startled at the intrusion, her eyes widening with a mixture of surprise and apprehension. "I mean you no harm," Idun spoke softly, his voice carrying the weight of his sincerity. "I stumbled upon your hut and was drawn to learn more about the one who resides here." The woman, Ilara, watched him cautiously, her hands trembling slightly as she gripped the edge of her makeshift chair. Her thoughts raced. How had this stranger found her sanctuary? What were his intentions? Before she could respond, Idun continued, his tone earnest yet respectful. "My name is Idun. I live alone in these woods, and I have never seen you before. May I know who you are and why you choose to live here?" Ilara hesitated, her gaze flickering between Idun and the door, her mind racing with 1,000 unspoken fears and uncertainties. This unexpected encounter had shattered the tranquility of her solitary existence, leaving her vulnerable and exposed. She knew she couldn't reveal her true identity as the queen seeking peace away from her kingdom. Just as the tension in the room reached its peak, Idun spoke again, his voice calm and reassuring. "Sir, please forgive my intrusion. I sense no danger, only a curiosity born from a shared love of these woods." Ilara studied him intently, searching his eyes for any hint of deception. Slowly, her initial fear began to ebb, replaced by a cautious curiosity of her own. This young man, weathered by a life of hardship and survival, stood before her with an honesty that resonated deeply. "My name is Ilara," she finally spoke, her voice soft but steady. "I seek solitude here. I ask that you leave immediately." As she spoke, Idun stepped further into the light, and for the first time, he saw her face clearly. His breath caught in his throat. Surrounded by the flickering glow of the fire, she appeared almost ethereal, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. In his mind's eye, she seemed adorned by a crown of roses, each petal gleaming like jewels in the firelight. Idun's brows furrowed in surprise at her request. He sensed there was more to her story, but respected her need for privacy. "I understand the desire for solitude," he replied gently. "The forest has been my home, my refuge, and my teacher. I will leave as you wish." With a respectful nod, Idun turned to exit the hut, pausing briefly at the door. "If you ever need help, know that I am nearby," he offered sincerely before stepping back into the night. As Ilara watched Idun disappear into the shadows of the forest, a sense of unease mingled with a flicker of curiosity. Who was this man who lived so freely in the wild, and what stories did he carry within him? Aidan returned to his treetop shelter, his mind swirling with thoughts of the mysterious woman in the hut. Despite her guarded demeanor, he felt a connection, a shared understanding of the need for solitude and the healing embrace of the forest. He wondered if their paths would cross again, and what secrets the forest still held for them both.